Even after 2 years, the pandemic is still not over. As India deals with the resurgence of the COVID-19 cases due to the Omicron variant, experts are debating economic growth and its impact. On the top of that, the looming uncertainties has also created signs of stress across variety of industries. With this in mind, all eyes are on Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who is scheduled to present her fourth budget on February 1st. In a pre-budget analysis, Pradeep Multani, president of the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, discusses the current state of the Indian economy as it relates to its deal with Omicron and recommends a slew of measures to boost the economic growth of various sectors and India as a whole.
The macroeconomic resilience of the economy has improved in recent months on the back of various reforms undertaken by the government and calibrated measures announced by the Reserve Bank of India during last many quarters. The sharp rebound in the GDP growth from the severe contraction of financial year 2021 caused by pandemic COVID-19 impact is highly appreciable. The recent GDP growth estimate of 9.2% for financial year 21-22 released by NSO along with the improved performance of other key economic and business indicators in the recent months reflects that the growth trajectory has been rejuvenated. The core infra, which reflects the performance of production in selected 8 core industries, reached the highs of 63% in April 2021 from the lows of minus 38% in April 2020. Even the economic health of the manufacturing sector, as implied by manufacturing PMI, showed a continuous increasing trend from August-November 2021. To carry on with this momentum, the industry, trade and economy need continuous facilitation. We are hopeful for more than 8% GDP growth rate in financial year 22-23 and the economy actually being in the pre-COVID levels. The main challenge and concern at this juncture is from the third wave of COVID-19 caused by the new variant of coronavirus, Omicron, which has already hit the country with rising cases in many states. At this juncture, there is a need for continuous support and facilitation of the economy by the government to alleviate the uncertainty caused by the brewing impact of Omicron variant. Further, the shortages of raw material, high input prices, among others, are impacting the production possibilities and anticipated sales volumes. Also, high commodity prices are posing a challenge to the small businesses to operate as these impact their costs of production and affect their competitiveness in the domestic and international markets. At this juncture, there is a need to address the high commodity prices and shortages of raw material to support the consumption and private investments in the country. The steps taken by the central government on ease of doing business are highly laudable. However, at ground level, things are immensely different. Therefore, there is a need to enhance the ease of doing business in the economy, along with a great focus on reducing the cost of doing business while ensuring that the benefits percolate effectively at the ground level. The government has announced various meaningful and proactive reforms in the last many quarters. However, the effective and timely implementation of these reforms is crucial for fruitful results. Our recommendations for budget 2022 for different sectors and industries are that the focus of the budget should be on refueling the consumption demand, enhancing private investments, and creating avenues for employment creation. To have such outcomes, we suggest hassle-free credit availability to industry, particularly for MSMEs, ease of doing business for the MSMEs, reduce costs of doing business, level playing field for the industry, and timely justice for people and industry. The reforms should be undertaken to bolster the MSME sector given its significant contribution in the economic and social development of the country. The focus should be on easing the compliance for MSMEs as well as easing the availability and access to finance for MSMEs. To give a great momentum to exports, export income should be made tax-free for MSMEs for 3 years, and income of large enterprises from the incremental exports be made tax-free. This will help in partly compensating the additional cost of logistics and other bottlenecks which Indian exporters face. We suggest to increase the public investments in agriculture infrastructure from the current level of 6% of the gross capital formation to at least 10% in the next 3 years, with an enhancement of 1.5 percentage points every year. The strong agriculture infrastructure would attract private investments in the area of agribusiness and reduce the agri-wastages from more than 25% to less than 10% in the coming times. We appreciate the government for enhanced health expenditure by 137% in the budget 21-22, and for the current year, we suggest the continued focus on the expenditure on health infrastructure as new variants of coronavirus are hitting the country again and again. To increase the tax base, we have to encourage people to pay the taxes with lucrative tax-paying benefits, such as providing a threshold of pension after the retirement above the age of 60 years for those who pay taxes continuously and honestly. This will increase the tax base in the country. Further, as the raw material prices have increased significantly during the last 1 year, we suggest that on the raw materials for manufacturer, the applicable basic custom duty needs to be reduced by 50%. This is to promote Make in India and cost competitiveness for domestic manufacturers. The country is now better prepared and equipped to deal with any emergency that may arise due to the looming threat of third wave of COVID-19 or any other viruses. However, it is essential to grant exemption once again to all kinds of materials and medical equipments required to deal with the pandemic, such as oxygen generating plants, oxygen concentrators, pandemic-related medicines, and all equipment related to public health infrastructure imported by NGOs, trusts, welfare organizations for deployment into government hospitals, charities, and other social welfare organizations down to the district level should be considered at 5% rate of GST till 31st December 2022 so that the threat of looming third wave is adequately addressed.